Hello, hello and welcome everybody back to the Dumbass class with me, the Dyslexic Gamer, and the guys, as we continue our tabletop RPG night after taking a week off, with some more Dark Heresy. So, to get straight into it, in the last episode, our players came up from the lower hive, up to the middle hive. We just adjust so you can see. There we go. And they made their way to a club owned by the Poison Kiss. They met the leader of the Poison Kiss, Sarah Nightshade, who they found out was a Upper Spire noble who seemed to be doing this out of just to do good. We'll see. No one really did any scrutiny, so you're fucked there.
We were too busy arguing over what the fuck's an eagle.
Yes,
I don't
were.
trust them anyway, because distrustful.
I was trying to, formulate thoughts, and people kept talking about an eagle.
But, as a reminder for the players and for you, the audience, over the last couple of weeks, some strange things have been happening in the lower hive, rather. Some of the players learnt that there were multiple accidents happening in small manufactorums. They would later learn, after a few days of mulling around in the club, that there were a number of malfunctions all over the lower hive. Productivity is severely reduced in the lower hive, and the injury rate and casualty rate is through the roof. One of the player characters, some weeks ago, learnt of a particular scholar, the Scholar Terraria, that was taking in numerous children from the lower hive.
I think both me and Liliana know about him.
Yeah. Which is suspicious because they were taking children who still had blood relatives, which is something that you learnt in the club. Some of our...
The dude's name?
The dude's name?
I mean, the kidnapper's name. How's it spelled?
You don't know him.
Scholar Terrarium.
Yeah, it's a scholar. So scholars in 40k can be essentially schools, scholams.
They're like state-run orphanages combined with a school.
Yes, exactly. Not all of them are run by the military. Not all of them are state-owned. Private. They can also be run by private, independent, well-to-do citizens who just make a show of, wealthy upper hivers making a show of, I'm helping the lower classes with my scholar. That will then lead orphans into decent careers. Some of the party, the more psychically attuned, found out that in the underhive there is something suspicious going on. There was a reverse Astra Telepathica, was the only way that one of the psychers could describe it. So there is that needs to be investigated at one point. You were also told that there are 2 Adeptus Arbites who appear to be corrupt. Or at least are out to get the Poison Kiss, because the Poison Kiss have asked you to take care of them. Ideally, to make it look like an accident, but if you have to gun them down in the streets, your reward will be almost nothing, but you would have achieved what you set out to do in the worst way possible. So there's investigations and planning for that future battle. But at the moment, as the servo skull moves in, and the pick feed comes online, we see our members of soon-to-be Inquisitorial agents sat around what can only be described as a large round table as they are eating their breakfast on the 4th day. So it is the 20... I didn't update the dates. So it's the 30th today. You have been on planet for almost a month.
How long do we have?
6.
We still have...
5.
If you mean the time, if it's been about 30 days, we still have 450. Oh, sorry, 470 days.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
There's time.
I mean, we should probably hurry up because time is running out.
Also, as a reminder, you were all paid 20,000 thrones last time by the Poison Kiss for your assistance.
Minus 500.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why was that minus 500 again?
Because
Pay for
lodgings.
Rent.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, I forgot.
If I remember correctly, they were even cheap because we have VIP rooms, basically.
What?
Yes.
I just want to make sure of something. So we got each 20k minus 500 for lodgings, yeah?
Yeah.
So yeah, you got 1900 and
I'm glad I checked because I rolled a 0 too much, and I was like, we totally have enough money to pay off the Inquisition.
not quite there yet. Getting close, but not there yet. Besides, we need 150,000 drums.
450.
I mean, that will make it like not 195,000. Is it's close. It's closer than we are right now. Okay.
No, yeah, we're getting there, but still, you have to remember, even if we get to 250, we still have to, get a little bit more so we can have, pocket change.
Or have big enough heretic to hand the Inquisition over, so they don't kill us for failing to raise enough money.
Also, did we take in the... It's not that, but did we also take in the financial part we had to pay for the Ceres, I think? The AdMac?
I don't think Sarah's ever wanted to go up with us. I think she's fine where she is.
Ceres is still in the lower hive. All your dealings with her have been done with. You've got a bit of time left. No. She will be working on another batch of fungus,
drugs,
I believe. I need to check to see how much you have left. But yeah, I think she'll be working on that.
Yes. Didn't we find out that she was originally part of the Inquisition too? And that she also had to raise funds?
You don't know her
sure
mission.
I know that.
You don't know her mission, but you do know that she is part of the Inquisition.
Okay, then I'm just imagining things. Sorry.
He's okay. No, I think. All right. So, what's our next move? We've been here for what, 3 days?
This is day 4.
I'm assuming Mordecai is passed out drunk. Been in touch by some other players.
No,
He's-
Mordecai's
He's
sat there eating
nursing
his
a head
breakfast.
wound as always.
Mordecai's roasting some of that.
No, he's sat there
Mordecai-
eating breakfast, looking rather perplexed at you all talking about him.
Mordecai had a
Why
bad
have you
encounter
not
over
got a head
Durable.
wound?
I've been here the whole
Mordecai had
time.
what?
I don't know why you all thought. Look, I don't need to go out and get food for us, so I can just, relax, like the rest of you. He looks puzzled at you all.
You sound different. I don't like it.
It's this place, all the low stick smoke. It's
It's the
Mordecai doesn't smoke.
no, you're in a strip club and brothel. The low smoke just wafts out. It's constant haze.
Yeah, he's passive smoking right now.
Actually,
Which is arguably worse than actual smoking.
I don't think we have any other missions currently, but I do remember we have to find a way to kill the two Abadi, so maybe we should get to it.
Alright. So, I gotta ask, does anyone here have any specialty in setting up accidental deaths? I use big air quotes when I talk about that. Because
Depends
I'm
on-
a guardsman. I point
I
and
was
shoot.
Regan.
I am reluctant to perform malpractice.
You
Darius.
people lack creativity.
Darius, as a guardsman, you'd also know that you'd have more information on terrain and just you'd have more information. So
Listen,
you'd send the scouts out,
I'm
wouldn't
not a
you?
killing machine, I'm not killing off the commissars. But maybe one or two of the squad mates have twisted their ankles in weird predicaments later down the line. I just want to let them know that. Just
Oh no, he fell under a Limonarus. What a shame.
holy
Wish
shit!
we could have
Why
prevented
did he
that,
decide to
but...
sleep underneath the chimera and have his legs sticking out underneath the tracks?
Before we actually think how we want to, kill them accidentally, we still have to find them, find out what their schedule is, what their patrol is, and where they, do their shit.
Yeah, that's
Because
right.
we still don't even know how they look.
There's still the
they're like
matter
Arbites.
of the
We don't have
curious tech priest that saw us in the elevator.
Oh yeah.
That part is fine.
It's really not.
So, how do you propose to deal with that?
For fuck's sake.
I mean, he could have an accent too.
Let's maybe, before we go willy-nilly dishing out there, maybe we should... Look, he hasn't sold us out yet, so he obviously wants something.
Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure our patron was taking care of that too, wasn't she? So
Yes,
before we
she was
go
going
off,
to try.
I don't know, was she?
before we
Yes,
go off
she was going to
pushing,
try.
Okay.
before we go off trying to push all the off bottoms of a lot of people, let's handle one thing at a time. So our bodies first, problems with the tech base later.
I mean,
Especially since again our patron is gonna try to help us.
Personally, I'd like to also investigate that whole tobacco of the scholar down in the lower hive. Something is off about it.
I think we should find out how. I don't think we should go to the lower hive just yet because that place, as far as I'm aware, is still kind of on a war zone.
Yeah.
True, it's just something to put on the
when
list.
is
I
it not
suppose.
a war zone?
From
It's
what
a
we hear,
lower
that like
hive.
it's completely overrun with the acid riot. They're having an acid fuel
Oh.
riot, so
Somehow I was thinking of the underhive.
again-
that place is just a fucking hellhole.
There is one thought we should consider too, though. Perhaps we should make an excursion to the lower hive to see if we can acquire whatever drug they were injecting into the acid riot people.
Yeah,
And
that's a good
maybe,
point. Whatever they were
and
using
maybe,
was made them feral.
exactly, and maybe, just maybe, we could use that somehow with the Abites too. Because after all, you did see whenever they weren't looking at us and they were getting too jumpy and tweaky, they actually shot themselves.
So wait. So you want us to drug the Arbites with a, for all intents and purposes, a blood rage drug and then kill them?
Why not do it on a riot?
Not precisely. The
It-
thing is, we know they
Alright.
have connections to the. We know they have connections to the acid riot. After all, that's the reason why we're going after. After all, that's the reason why we're going after them. They have connections.
That Bonneville
Sorry about that.
Patience is listening in.
Sorry about that. I lost my train of thought. Okay. After all, we know the reason why we're going after those Arbites is because they have connections to the acid riot. So, using the acid riot drug to, take care of a problem. Perhaps we even make just one of the two feral. The other one has to kill the feral one to, put him down. And we move from there. Perhaps he dies from his wounds because he was fighting his partner. Or,
If the wounds will be severe enough, I suppose that could be arranged.
Alright, Jenny, you're a Medicaid. Is
You
there a
noticed
way
that, did
post?
you?
Yes, I did. Funny enough, is there a way post-mortem to determine if someone had drugs or not in the system?
I assume there is. Is there?
Yes. You don't even need to ask that. Yes. Unless it's
So
a
that's
drug
kind of
that burns out of their system super quick. Because when you die, I guess when you die and your blood's spilled everywhere, your body's not breaking down that drug. So, unless it's a very advanced drug that's been created for that very specific purpose of assassinating targets without leaving a trace, I'm not saying they don't exist. Chance of you being able to get hold of
really
them.
fucking expensive.
Well,
Dodgy Dave probably can't help with that.
a simple med adept would be able to tell that the drug was injected posthumously.
No, that's exactly the thing. We don't have to inject him after he's dead. We inject him while he's on his job with his partner, the one we had to kill.
There would
No, that's
still
the
be
thing.
signs of struggle with the forceful injection.
Yeah, we're not going to make him willingly take drugs. I doubt they do anything with combat stimulus.
Unless you can make him. There's certain things that cannot be detected after death, I suppose. I don't know how, and she's gonna point to the head, this works, but...
Aurelia's gonna stop and think, again,
Lillian, another Aurelia.
Sorry? Who's Aurelia?
What?
Yeah, it's
Anyway. Anyway. Besides, I think there's one way I can maybe, just maybe help with, making him willingly take the drug. Besides, we don't know the vector in which this drug works. We would have to acquire this drug to find out what it is. Perhaps you can drink this drug.
Alright. What?
I doubt it. If the drug has such effects, I would assume it's a injection drug, not a... Well, I don't imagine it's something you can lace food or drink with. And, well, you could, but I imagine it would have lesser effect.
I mean,
I'm also all for just, car crash or something.
I mean, what's the chance that we can get a gas pipe to explode in their building and burn them down?
Right,
Possible.
There are tech priests too. You can,
there's-
fiddle with a gas line or a fuel line.
There's been plenty of faulty gas lines, but that was in the lower hive.
Oh,
Well,
it's possible.
actually,
I know it is, but like going off my knowledge, I remember there was a lot of accidents as of late. With
actually, accidents have been happening in every facility that has not been run by the Mechanicus or licensed to making, I think it was SDC2.
I think they've been making like buttons or some shit.
Yeah. Perhaps you could bring them there and, I don't know, machine explodes.
Though I am loath to make to damage the machinery, I suppose it is a way.
Oh my dear Jenny, I love to hurt the machine spirit too, but it is for the greater good.
The greater good.
good.
There's just like a Tau Pathfinders popping out of like a potted plant. The greater good. Probably that kid.
You know, you two have been. What have you two been drinking? I've been weird the entire day.
You don't know about the towel.
Look,
What
it's
are
like
these
a
things?
Shit.
look, it's like a pot plant salt spire, but Tau.
Fucking hell. Anyway, I think we should find these guys and, do what. Give me a second. Liliana said and get an idea of what their
Question. Did
strategy.
they
but,
ask us to
routines.
kill them, or did they ask us to neutralize them?
Kill them.
Kill them.
Kill them. Push their off buttons, you know. Slit their throats and splash in their life juices. That kind of thing.
I would say send them to
Well,
the Emperor.
we are here for what, 4 days now? I'm pretty sure my job in the lower hive is a bust.
Pretty sure
Oh,
jobs are
those
bust out,
15
because-
thrones you could have earned.
Having said that, I'm sure there is a Medicaid station up here, which could use the services of Magus Extraordinaire. Well, not a Magus yet, but you know, I know my job and I do it well.
That reminds me, Jenny. Weren't you working as a Kairogen here in the Middle Hive? Weren't you
Lower.
supposed to?
I
Weren't you supposed
had
to?
a job offer up here.
Weren't you supposed to appear every week or something like that? How long has it been since you've
4
gone to
days.
work? I see.
I don't. Well, I have been the only competent Medicaid down there. Little nurse notwithstanding, she's doing her best. Omniscient, bless her heart. But that fake doctor, I don't imagine a lot of people will have any chance now.
Okay. Right. Real quick. Does everyone here have a microbead?
I'm pretty sure we all have one.
I do have one. I don't think we all have one, but I do have one.
Liliana has one. Jenny has one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Ezio has one. Albie?
I
It's
have
you,
one.
Robin.
Hello.
Hello. Do you have one?
Do you?
I have one.
Okay,
Oh,
so
I've
it's
got
just
one.
me now that needs to get one. I'm pretty sure Mordecai. Yeah, Mordecai has one. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that needs to get one actually.
We can probably talk about Patron.
All right.
Assuming she's
If
still
we're
here.
gonna split up and look for these guys, or we either have to split up or go into groups, or just go as one big group. Priority
Someone
now
roll
is-
me Inquisition.
I got it.
Can I roll that?
Anyone can roll it.
I'm rolling it.
So, you need to find a needle in a haystack, but you know where the needles are going to be dropped in from. Your best bet is to go to the Arbites. Precinct. That's the word.
Yeah, Fortress Precinct.
Fortress Precinct. That's the word. That would be the best place to find out what these individuals look like, where they come and go from. That's your start location.
Yeah. Okay.
Shenny, would you
know it. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
do we know if the Arbites have squad vehicles, like
Yes.
dedicated vehicles?
Certainly, yes.
Yes. So as a reminder from last time, on this planet there is a secret military police that handle a large part of what the Arbites would normally handle. You're not sure why that is. You don't know who controls them, but you do know from Ceres that is the case. The Arbites therefore have taken on a lesser role. They're doing the more important jobs, but that also means that some of their more fun jobs have been taken away. They still have a fortress precinct in the Middle Hive. They still have a number of Arbite divisions where different Arbites are doing different work. So, for example, investigations, secretaries, enforcement of law, just writing out the laws that someone has broken, and all the paperwork stuff is handled. But their shock troops, their riot squads, they're taking a back seat. They're doing lesser work now. But they still have enforcers that they boss about. They still have transport. They still operate as the superiors of all the enforcers. So they still have basically an army of lesser policemen at their disposal who do deal with most crimes.
Okay. There was like 3 specifically that actually are the ones that go into the lower hive.
There's 3 specific ones that you've been told about. 2 of them are corrupt.
Names?
Yes, you were given names. The names were...
I think I have them here.
One of them's Roland, I think. Where is it? Arbites. So Roman Thorn is investigator.
Pumpkin Lawrence. Actually, Pumpkin Lawrence, and the one we're not supposed to kill is Romero Thorn.
Yeah.
So Roman Thorn and Pumpkin Lorenz are the one we're supposed to kill.
No, Romero Thorn is the one we're not supposed to kill.
Then who's the
Antonor
other one
Smith.
we're supposed to kill? Pumpkin
No.
Lorenz and...
No. Antonor Smith and Pumpkin Lawrence. These 2 we're supposed to kill. I'm just gonna,
Wilmer Thorn and Pumpkin Lorenz and who?
I think this is how their name is written. God damn it. Come on, make copy you and paste you. There you go. Those 2 are our targets.
Yes, that's
And-
correct.
I got it close enough.
And then since
Totally
Is
did
there-
the
there-
pumpkin.
there are basically no Arbites in this place, it should be, a lot easier to take out an Arbites. It's going to be more noticeable, but, shouldn't be as
yes.
bad.
These were the guys you came down and said, these are the Astartes we need to kill.
Yes, Astartes. I told that multiple times. I am sorry. I keep confusing those 2.
It's
Glorious. It's fine.
I mean, if they were Astartes, I would know both.
I mean, if they were just Astartes, we just had to get a hold of a fucking Laz, multi-Laz.
Or get a floor under them out. Full damage.
Yes, officer, I have this multi-las for my work permit. No, officer, I'm not taking the piss. By the throne, I swear, I'm telling the Officer, why are you
Look,
taking
it's-
out that shock baton?
Officer, it's a medicinal oil cannon.
Yeah.
Officer, my shop is the disposal of heretics.
Excuse me, sir.
You don't
Heretics.
want to be a heretic.
I mean,
Are
just
you
need
a
to get in
heretic,
good
officer?
position.
This is Enforcer 221. Please call the Arbites and tell the Lord Governor
Please
to
call
shut
in
the hive
everything.
down.
No,
So,
what you do
as
is
you're-
if you're like in a buddy team, you go, do you know that one out of 3 people is a heretic? I'm not a heretic. Well, I'm not a heretic. You turn to the third one.
So, as you're all sat around discussing about taking out the Arbites, Jenny, a message comes through on your microbead.
What is it?
Well, you have to answer it.
Hello?
Hello, Jenny. It is Mentorus here. I have completed work and I have arranged for the product to be transported and delivered.
Great. And how does it look down there? Is it still burning?
The enforcers and PDF have moved in and pacified most of the violence. Normality is returning, but it appears casualties were high.
To be expected. Although, if they're still keeping a tight lid on the block, it'll probably be difficult to move the goods.
I will be having my servitors take it through the Mechanicus's maintenance passages. I understand that the Poison Kiss has many holdings, and as they are our clientele, I will have my servitors go to their nearest location.
Poison Kiss is going to have to do a lot of rebuilding after what happened in the lower hive.
Yes, it appears my servitors have only found one location closer, and that appears to be on the middle hive, so it may take some time for them to deliver their goods, but I'm sure it will be accepted, especially considering their current circumstances.
Speaking of what happened, do you have any idea who was our illustrious unwelcome guest in the elevator?
I have been analysing his coding techniques and trying to run them through my data cords to find if it is a unknown Mechanicus coding, but I am unable to without access to the Mechanicus's Cognite
Noosphere?
yes,
That's
Newsphere. But on this world they would have a more primitive version.
So essentially the Mechanicus internet. Yeah, I got it. Well, I don't suppose that fake identity you set us up with would hold up to the scrutiny of our own.
Once you have confirmed some of the details with your new identities, I can ensure that they will hold up to most enforcer scrutiny. Members of the Adeptus would more likely than not, if placed under higher scrutiny, would break the deception. But that shouldn't be a problem as long as you stay clear of any high priority areas.
Understand. Thank you, mentors. It appears it's just gonna keep getting better and better.
The line goes dead.
Oh, what'd you say?
He's got the product ready, but getting it
She.
moved is gonna.
She.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I thought you said he, to be fair.
Oh, sorry, no, I meant she. She has the product ready, but it's gonna take some time, seeing as the nearest drop-off point is gonna be a metal hive. She's gonna use her servitors, have them run through the Mechanicus channel tunnels, and we still need to confirm our cover identities so she can actually properly put them in, so they're actually worth a damn.
Oh.
Linda scratches her chin. I thought I had.
Well, she was she was very general about it. Didn't say any names. Apparently, the enforcers in the PDF have the Zeta mostly under control, even if the acid riot is still running rampant in places.
Oh, I so want to push the off bottom of the ice rat. Take them to the Forever Sleepland.
Let's not go rebuilding the Underhive again. There will be time for ambitious plans. But it is not this time.
Sniff.
Okay.
Do you know when we're supposed to go pick up things and where it is?
We don't have to go anywhere. The servitors will deliver it to the Poison Kiss directly.
Okay.
Okay.
Again, it's going to take some time because they actually have to make their way to the Middle Hive. And as covertly as servitors are able to.
What's this about, identities?
Do you know the color identities she set us up with? The ones that some of them are still mostly blank.
I don't remember this.
Once we fill them in, she's pretty certain that they will hold up to most enforcer scrutiny, but anything higher than the enforcer, the actual Imperial Guard, or the actual Herbites, Mechanicus, they probably won't last long under that scrutiny.
Right. Well, I mean, it really depends on the guard, to be honest. Anyway, we should probably go get them sorted out first, I think. If we're going to go tailing, you know, Arbites, we might want to have these to fall back on. What do you think?
Well, we're gonna have to make our move sooner rather than later. The sooner we do it, the sooner we can get on doing the important things. How does that sound to you?
Sounds good.
Alright.
Sounds good.
Okay, so what's first? Tail or entities?
Liliana is going to flip a coin.
You flip a thrown coin.
Whatever number one was, the first
It-
one.
I don't even remember now.
Yeah, what was option one?
The first
Shit.
one was, I think, the throne, and the other one was the number.
Well, let's just go get some tail.
yeah, let's just go tell the fucking Arbites. Fucking.
Okay, so you have an option. You're in the Middle Hive. This club, whilst seedy, is not criminal in any way. You can, if you wish, get a hired car, or take a quicker elevator. Because obviously the nobles don't travel in these massive bulk freighters, freight elevators. There are quicker ones that you can pay to use if you wish to travel around a little bit quicker.
How much would that cost us?
So, if you get the hired car, that will cost you 50 thrones each. If you want the quick to use the express elevators, that will cost you 25 each.
Right.
But remember, this is a civilian taxi, essentially.
Can
So going in fully armed and equipped, not going to happen.
Do we still have access to these rooms for the next few days, or is this our last day with them?
You basically
What did you
have a
say?
week with them. They're not in any rush for you to leave. Tiffany is currently at the so probably a day after you got there, she went off to the Medicaid, a proper hospital on the Middle Hive, to go and get treated and have measurements taken for certain things and scans.
I don't think
How
I have
quick-
seen
how-
her since, right?
How quickly did a Poison Kiss deal with her treatment? Okay, no, so
I mean, with her one, she's
probably
gone
last
better.
night. Probably last night she would have come back from the hospital. Her head completely bandaged, just one eye barely visible, and she probably would have been helped to a room where, look, Medicaid costs are expensive. You know, if you're not in danger, okay, fuck off home and get bed. You know, your family can look after you. So, yeah, she's back at the club for a few days, if not weeks, resting. Urza is still in hospital. So you would have seen her briefly last night when she was probably drugged right up.
Get in there.
Yeah, I don't. I think it would probably just allow her to rest and sleep if she's gonna be, down for the count for a while.
I'm
Good man.
I would go visit her every now and then, but since she just came back yesterday, I don't think I have actually been able to visit her.
Loud
I'm gonna
snoring
leave
could be heard from her
stuff
room.
in my room.
So, do you want to pay the 75 thrones each to have 24 hours of 3 times speed?
I mean, that sounds nice.
Yeah. I'm gonna fork
Yeah.
75.
Since I only have 4 thrones of my initial spending money left. I haven't
Nice.
touched the seed money yet.
You have a massive fucking payout.
Yes, we did, but I like to keep track of separate things.
I have 21,945 thrones and still have 500 thrones from the seed money. Which, to be honest, I don't think I should keep them split up.
I have
At this point.
24,900 from the fungus and from Nightshade, and still the 500 thrones of spending of seed money.
Also, just as a reminder, I don't have anything illegal per se that I can't wear, right? Because I have a sword, a shield, and most of my clothing, I can be hidden by my regular clothing. Most
I
of my
mean,
armor.
Shield. I think Shield will be pushing it a bit in the Middle Hive.
If it's
Yeah.
pushing
Little
the
bit,
shield,
if
then I
you're
wouldn't bring the
just
shield.
if you're just wandering
I don't
about,
bring the shield. I just bring the sword. Then.
it would definitely make you stand out. Any weaponry that you have on show, a law enforcement agent is definitely going to look at you. Let's put it that way. If you go completely unarmed, so they cannot see any weapons, you are just a civilian out for a stroll. You are no threat. If they see any bulge of a weapon, then you could draw that weapon. So they're going to look at you, take note of you, and if they're good, Did I say 75 thrones for it? Everyone else has probably done it. Where's the calculator?
How many pistols can I hide on myself?
Since I don't have anything I can hide, I'm definitely not bringing my pistol. Definitely not bringing the. Actually, I can bring the stun grenade on my backpack.
Yeah, I have
But
like
I
4 spare
I don't-
backpacks.
I'm gonna keep only a knife on my person, and I'm gonna bring the stun grenade on my backpack. Actually, no, I'm not gonna bring a stun grenade. Fuck it. It's gonna take, I think, a turn for me to grab the stun grenade anyway. So
It'd be at least
I'll
a
just
full
have my
action.
stuff.
It'd be at
Yeah.
least a full action to take your bag off
Yeah.
and to get the grenade.
Yeah, I think I can probably hide a knife on my person without having a bulge. So,
A knife is perfectly fine.
yeah.
Pistols,
Push a
again,
button?
if you take a pistol with you,
Can I hide it?
if you take a pistol with you and they decide to see you, then it will be right. Okay, roll sleight of hand for how well did you hide it. If you don't have sleight of hand, -20 agility test to attempt to make sure that you hid it well enough to beat their scrutiny perception of you.
I mean, is
Yeah, but
light
they
flak
only do
close
scrutiny perception if we pique their interest to begin with, right?
Not for Arbites and not
No.
for law enforcement who are on guard looking for. Remember, think of this as policing nowadays. If they see anything suspicious about you, they might not come over and talk to you, but they're going to know, right, we need to keep an eye on them. So surveillance in that situation is gone.
I
We
think
need
I'm.
Remember, guys, you're going out for
do.
concealment. You're going out for surveillance. As long as you don't get into any trouble, you don't need to be armed and armored. I know it's a scary thought, but
That is true, and it's
the least.
Middle Hive.
That is the least suspicious. If you want to take a gun, you can. If you have the skills to be able to conceal it when the time comes, awesome. A knife, perfectly fine. No problems with a knife. A chain knife, I would also accept. What weapon?
An infernal grenade.
If you put that in a bag, if you had that in a bag, then that's fine. But it's a full action to get the grenade out of your bag in combat. You can have a weapon. You can have like pistols in a bag. That's fine because it's hidden.
Giddy, you said you had extra backpacks, right?
Yeah, I have 4 backpacks on
Can
me.
I have one?
Sure.
But rifles in
Backpacks are always
backpacks
useful.
will look, again, suspicious.
No, so I'm gonna take my command pattern last pistol and I'm gonna put it in the backpack that Giddy gave, and I'm just gonna take my usual stuff: the great cloak, I'm gonna take a Hector, the unguents, and
Okay.
the stuff you
have
can
to-
reasonably expect on the Mechanicus person to be.
I have to ask, why do you have 4 backpacks?
Backpacks are always useful.
Because he looted them.
No, I literally bought them. Backpacks are always useful.
Well, anyway, I'm not gonna bring in my backpack. I'm just gonna bring my armor, a knife, which I can probably hide on my boat or something.
I'm leaving everything but my sword. My sword's staying with me.
I just have my knife. I look like a normal, regular, non-civilian, I think, with the current gear I have. And because my armor, I specifically bought it because it can be easily hidden. And it's armor. I don't think they mind armor. From what I heard.
Is light flak coat and flak helmet? Oh, not the flak helmet, at least. Probably take that off. I'm
So
gonna put
any
that in the
guard
bag, too.
stuff will be very suspicious. You could get away with a hardened body glove. It would still be suspicious. You need to, if they notice you, they'll take notice because it is still padded and makes you look a lot bigger and buffer than you should be. Things like the greatcoats, they would pass because they look like a very long coat. Things that would completely pass would be mail. Mail you could get away with, not a problem, because you can wear that under your clothes fine. You can buy customized clothes because obviously nobility need armored clothing as well, which is looks like a normal jacket.
Gotta have
That
them
is
Kevlar
something.
panties.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Well, maybe just to protect the family jewels, or the. Well, let's not go there. So Mordecai takes off all of his armor. He very slowly puts down the helmet and just gives it a tap.
All right, I'm leaving everything, but I'm sticking my Ripper Clip hack shotgun, Stormchild hand cannon, and Scalp Taker stub revolver in the bag, as well as the ammo, and keeping
Sure.
my. Is a baton okay? Or do I have to put that in the bag too?
So the batons, I would probably
It's like a
say,
collapsible baton.
because I think they would be collapsible. I think they would
Okay.
be collapsible, and I think it says in the description that they are collapsible. Or should I make you buy best quality ones for them to be collapsible? Oh, that's a. Do you know what? That's quite correct. So no, they don't collapse.
All right,
However, they are a
stiletto in my
blunt
belt.
weapon. Well, I would probably let you get away with a baton, although it is damage-wise is a lot. But as a self-defense thing, just to be able to smack away an attacker whilst not, you're not going to kill an enforcer easily with a baton. I would let you carry one.
Okay, yeah, I'll keep the baton on my hip then. I'll probably throw the stiletto in the bag just in case too. I have a lot of weapons.
I put a Ripper pistol in the bag and drop everything else. How much is that?
No,
Sure.
even though the hardened body glove is passable, I think next time I meet up with Mr. Black, I'm gonna make sure to buy a complete mesh vest suit. But yeah, I'm gonna keep the hardened body glove. I'm just gonna make sure to wear a jacket, so it looks like it's just a jacket. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I
fuzzy
want to take
jacket.
off my flak armor.
So
Black coat.
we've got one hardened body glove. We've got one sword. We've got one, possibly three beating sticks. And that's it. Everything else is in bags. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you all bought clothes last time. Did anyone ask for particularly nice clothes?
Liliana has nice clothes. She has middle-high clothes. She's not,
What was the cost, good sir?
70 thrones. I believe you told me 150 thrones was noble, 50 was regular. I bought, nice clothes, but they're not regular clothes. They just look good, so it was 70 crowns.
Okay. If anyone spent any more than that, please let themselves be known. But do you rent a car?
We're buying clothes.
I have low hive clothing and I have middle hive clothing.
I have Mechanicus clothes. It's in the great code. That's good enough for me.
I have my Civ clothes, and that's it. I have gang leathers I can put on.
You can buy clothes over the last
I'll do that.
4 days. That's perfectly fine if you want to add it now. It makes you less suspicious. You've basically got a disguise that you've got on.
Yeah,
Can I-
I'll buy some.
Can I prove then my clothing, the ones I bought?
You do
Because it's
what?
70 crowns. Would it be possible for me to improve mine, or are mine okay? Because mine are the middle hive ones that fit in.
You could improve them a little bit. It depends, because you guys haven't decided on your aliases yet. That's when it would be a lot better, because then you could say, okay, so if I'm the one in charge, I'm going to have slightly nicer clothes. Then you can have someone who's the muscle and who's actually got equipment. Because if a guard comes over to you and says, who are you? You say, I'm an envoy for the Angonius company. We deal in supplying mid-range manufactorums with vital supplies, and I am their envoy, and these are my assistants, and of course we need a guard, and you have a story and something to tell.
Yeah.
Walking in, just as, a group. What are you doing here? Well, what do your IDs say?
My ID says I'm a pondsmith. I am a traveling merchant, so.
Really, Pondsmith? Really?
Yeah, why not pondsmith?
You're not hungry for cyberpunk, are you?
So,
Just a tiny bit.
at the moment,
Just a tiny
your
bit.
IDs will be fine for getting you past automatic scanners. Sarah's has keyed them in so that they will get a code that will get you past. If enforcers ask you to show them your ID and they scan it, it might come up as like questioning. They might ask you, what's this? Or they might be, I can't be bothered with this shit, I'm going home. And they won't give a fuck. But you are walking around in a group, remember this. You're walking around in a group, and you've got Jenny, who, in her Mechanicus robes, is a big, why is she here?
Because
So
they're
you do
paying
need
the
to-
Mechanicus.
I'm gonna buy clothing that I can actually, fit well with me while it's still hiding the hard body glove. How much would that cost me?
So if you wanted to buy clothes that would conceal your armor entirely,
Maybe a jacket or
So,
a coat of stuff
they
that
would
someone
probably-
hires than it would.
they would probably tell you that you're going to have to go more flamboyant, more stuff. Because obviously, if your clothes have got more frilly frills on them and stuff that's puffy, it's going to hide bulk more. So the poison kiss girls would show you some data slates with like clothing designs on, because fuck it, let's say you, through Mandy, you get contacts, and they show you quite a garish dress, but it's very puffy and still middle hive fashion and area, but that would hide your armor completely. That would probably be 300 thrones, and that would be a dress that covers you from top to bottom and hides everything except from your head.
Actually, I'm gonna buy some like mid to upper tier clothing for the middle hive.
If you want
Probably,
if you want normal middle hive clothing, which is for well-to-do minor merchants, so it's nicer than the normal manufactorums, then that's 70 thrones. That puts you above
70?
70, yeah. If you want custom clothes that will hide your armor, technically you have to get it made, or you can buy clothing that's so big it covers you and hides your.
I'm just gonna get the regular ones because my armor it's the gray coat. It actually goes over, so you know.
Yep.
The thing is, the moment you said garish clothing, that means I'm gonna be far too, everybody's gonna be looking at me because it's far too showy.
You definitely not look like a. You'd either look like a very high class escort who's just lives in the middle hive, which does happen. There is transport between, or you would look like someone who's come from the upper hive down to nose around. The problem is just buying clothes that covers your armor. You've got advanced armor. If you look at the picture of it, it is bulky. It is padded. It gives you 3 armor everywhere, and it's advanced. So buying clothing, you're going to have to go with big and bulky. Slim, nice, cool-looking clothing is just not going to work.
Thing is, I have never seen an actual picture for the Highland body glove. I think I'm just gonna. I don't think I can split the body glove because the body glove protects everything, but it's a one-piece suit, right?
It's a one-piece.
I'm just gonna buy a very nice, dress, and I'm gonna drop the Highland body glove, and I'm gonna keep wearing the mesh vest. So
okay,
because the mesh vest I can hide, right?
So yes, mesh is completely concealable.
I don't think
so. Your 70 throne clothes would work perfectly for that.
I'm gonna upgrade it. I don't know if this is count as upper hive. I'm gonna buy something that costs 150 or just 100 thrones.
So yeah, if you go with 100 thrones, then you are essentially you basically don't work in the middle hive. Your dad has a company that makes enough money so that you are a kept daughter or mistress.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna add it 150 thrones. I'm gonna be the one looking nice in the group, I think.
Also, I'm going to announce to Hector that for the time being, he is to refer to me as Vex Astora, not Jenny Lanius. Because that would be embarrassing if he said my actual name when I was using the fake one.
Please repeat, mistress.
Vex Astora.
Vex Astora has been registered as the new user name.
Thank you, Hector. The Omnissiah protects.
As we serve.
I'm gonna keep as an pansmith. I just hope the little robot doesn't say anything about me.
I said that out loud, so everyone knows that that's essentially my cover identity.
Okay, Vax what now?
Astora.
Okay. This is gonna be hard. Vax Astora. Okay, I think Mordecai is Mordred Kai. Cool. What about Darius and Ezio? What is your cover name?
I'm Agnes.
Christ. Oh, that's what a Highland body glove looks like. I see.
Yeah, it's not.
I mean, if you take off the shoulder plates.
Yes, if you modify it, but yours isn't modified.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to modify my baby.
An armor test? Now that's a different story.
Like I said, I think I'm just gonna buy a full mesh bodysuit at some point.
God damn it, Jenny. You should be working for the Omnisire and modifying people's equipment.
I
Well.
don't think. Do I even have? I have one tick in armor. One day, okay. Besides, I don't exactly have a place where I would do the modifications.
Also,
I don't
Ezio's
exactly-
gun needs to be
Yeah,
have its mod added.
I still
Well,
need mine.
he never brought it up to me in character.
True.
Yeah. Hey, I probably would have talked about it in the 4 days.
If
I'm
I
told
can
there wasn't
retroactively roll for it in those 4 days.
That's
Maybe
so
it also
By all
cost us-
means.
set me back 2Ks.
So, just as a reminder, if you crit fail, the device is destroyed. If you get more than 4 degrees of failure, the device is damaged.
Damaged.
And if you
yeah.
fail by less than 3 degrees, no, less than 4 degrees, I don't think anything bad happens.
Okay, so I'm rolling flat armor. Here we go. It's a 50-50. Oh, you cuntish dice. That was a. I saw that as a 52.
1d4,
and then
please.
It's not.
1d4.
It's the hours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 hour. It was annoying, but it's a new device and a new weapon.
And I need to find the drivers for it.
You can try again. You have 3 days.
No.
Oh, no, Character, I don't think there are drivers for a piece of optics.
I'm getting there.
I think I know what. I think I have a
There we
better.
go.
Okay, so after 4 hours plus,
Enjoy.
so after 8 hours of work, the Omnisire prevails and gives Jenny enough inspiration and guidance as Hector just verbs out the cant of construction. Jenny has completed the attachment of the mod.
It sounds well and good in binary, and actually, to those who understand, Hector's like, you're trying to put it the other side on.
You know. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, crap! I don't want to do this. I've done this far too many times. But what do? Is there any code word that the? I don't remember the name of this place. I think it's the Golden Eagle, right? The place we're staying.
Yes, that's correct.
What would be the code name for the high class escorts of this place? So like Merchant's Daughter? I don't know.
So there'd still be escorts. For you wanted high class. Yeah, that's prostitution. That's just escorts. Different
Yeah,
classes
I'm
though.
just-
Think of beef. How it's rated. Same thing.
Yeah,
If it's A5, Wagyu, it goes up to the spire, and they get to be spire playthings.
Yeah. So there's no code name. I'm just gonna say I'm a rich merchant's daughter. But if anyone takes a closer look and realize I'm not a merchant's daughter, I'm just gonna say I'm an escort. I play as a merchant's daughter to not be as a parent.
I'll
Okay.
just be a manufacturing worker.
So for
Also, there
now,
is what is
for now, I'm just gonna have a chat off camera at the end of the episode or at the start of next one, so that your group story makes sense. Because if you're this person and he's that person and they're that person and this is that person, how the hell did you all meet? You make more of a story. If you're all from the same building, the same company, then we work together. Oh, okay. It gets you through. If you start picking and choosing really complicated backstories, and I'm from this place and I'm from that place, it causes more questions.
I mean,
Just putting it out there.
yeah, I would go with the easy route. If she's a merchant's daughter, then the merchant is paying like a low-level tech adept to be essentially like a personal physician.
That could work. Darius could be muscle.
And
So could I
I'm
too.
essentially not wearing
Yeah, I will
mechanical
probably
clothes
just be
because
muscle.
to blend
But,
in.
You know, let's like this said. Let's try to figure this out after the session. But yeah, I'm gonna figure something out. But I already bought the clothing. I guess we just go, look around.
Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Also, Darius, what is your, fake name?
Bob Bobbington.
You're serious? Okay, Bob Wellington.
What was yours, Jim? I've not noted now.
Anna Pondsmith.
Oh, yeah, Pawn Smith.
Well,
I'm going to get written down later for taking down myself, but
I just noted you down as Robert Bovington.
that's okay.
I'm sat here trying to click on something going, why can't I pick you up? What layer are you on? And it's no, you've got the ruler out, you dickhead. Damn you, game. Damn
I just realized something I should have said to Nightshade.
For God's sake.
No, because I'm just looking for my notes, and there's this big Digilis grave paid 700,000 thrones for services rendered to the Mechanicus, and I'm like, who are they again? But they're probably important.
Oh, the jealous grave.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of forgot they existed.
it's fine. It's fine. They come into it later when you go down lower. It's fine.
I'm sure I'm just gonna bring it up to Nightshade next, or one of her trustees the next time I see them.
So
Actually, can I change
you
it?
rent
Can I
a
change my name real
car.
quick? Sorry.
You rent a car. You pay for the club, the Drunken Eagle, to hire you a car. To pay the chauffeur to drive you around for 24 hours, or however long you keep him in service. And you take off with your weapons concealed and your armor stowed. It would normally take you 9 hours under the normal free transit. So it only takes you 3 hours. The elevator that you go up in you can actually feel your stomachs go as this one gets up to speed. And it is far, far smaller than the freight elevator. You actually don't get out of your vehicle when you drive into it. However, I did skip a bit in my want to get you out of the club. So, it was only a few hours ago that you heard that the founding of the 77th Regiment was announced.
Oh yeah, that happened.
Servants.
yeah.
Let's not get press ganged while we're here.
As you drive through the streets of the Middle Hive, you can already see Imperial, for God's sake, what are they called? Astra Militarum recruiters out on the corners with flyers, and other younger boys taking more flyers and sticking them on buildings and announcing that a new founding has been called. All men of eligible age who wish to join the service and fight for the God Emperor himself can apply at these locations. Doesn't seem to be too massed at the moment. But everyone roll me perception with a -10.
Is there?
Sorry, awareness. Awareness. It's not fantasy.
Do I get the bonus for? I see.
I miss fantasy.
The Imperial Guard.
The former guard can get a bonus.
Do you know what? Actually, that's a good point. Former guardsmen get a +10. Because you
Hey.
probably would notice it.
Fucking.
Why
Holy
did you
shit!
roll charm?
Oh yeah, what?
You rolled the wrong thing. I would be harsh and say no, you rolled the wrong thing, rolled the right thing, but no, I will. It was a natural one. I will bow down. So, Darius, perhaps you weren't actually at a founding, or perhaps it was so long ago that you can't remember what it was like for the people. Ezio, you remember when the founding of the Guard Regiment was that you ended up being part of. And as you look around and you notice the people, the citizens who see the recruiters crying out for new blood, the grinder, they don't look happy at all. In fact, they look furious.
So, is it reasonable to assume that this happens often?
No. Darius knows from his previous research that this world has, in the past, apart from this day, has only ever had 3 regiments. But the number of the reinforcements gets carried on. So you have the 1st regiment of the 37th reinforcement. So all soldiers within the 37th reinforcement would have that on their uniform, as well as the 1st regiment. This was exclusive to this system. No, as far as I'm aware, no other guard regiment in the Imperium had done this ever. Whereas the new Santa Fean,
Exactly.
so the new Santa Fean 77th regiment, which is what the governess has declared be founded, goes against the world's tradition.
Yeah. They would have 3 regiments, and each time they would just reinforce the regiments. So instead of having you finding up of a new regiment, they would just, well, recreate
Reinforcement, like the first Trojans.
Not quite. Australians still make new regiments. Like they're still siege or not siege. They're still infantry regiments, but at the same time, sorry, doggos are attacking me.
Yeah, so normally once a regiment has been reduced in manpower, they strike it off the list. No, that regiment is dead. So anyone
Yeah,
left in that
essentially
regiment will
merge
get
it
pushed
with another
into
one.
another one or get retired if they're lucky enough.
Yeah.
Whereas this the system of Santa Fe, I think it's a system, subsystem. Even I forget sometimes. No, sorry,
It's not
Martin
Sacred,
Guard.
I believe
So
it is
it's
a
the planet.
system.
So the Santa Fean regiments were it was their own heritage, their own unique thing within the Imperium. To only have 3 regiments, but each regiment gets reinforced rather than being destroyed. Whereas now the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd will all be destroyed. They will no longer exist. Once their manpower is reduced, bang, fruit gone. And that's where the 78th will come in, and 79th.
So they will know. Do it like the rest of the Imperium.
What?
Like,
So
just
imagine,
make a new one.
imagine
Or am I
if you turned around to the Americans and went, your flag no longer exists, now you're going to use this flag instead. And then told them to join the army that is going to be fighting under that flag.
Yeah. Alright.
That's what you're seeing at the moment. As you look round with a natural one, you see the people standing in the back of the lines who are outright there spitting on the ground, swearing, shouting, you know, not quite at the point of like throwing bottles, but they are clearly not happy. You can't hear the words, but with a natural one, for a moment the God Emperor lets you lip read, and you swear you see one of those people say, "Fuck the 77th!"
Clearly, these people need a commissar.
I'd like to point out that we may have just used up all the doubles of the session on that one awareness test.
I mean,
Psychers are fine. Psychers are fine. Ooh, on that, I probably should be kind and let Mordecai.
So long as it
see.
doesn't happen when I'm casting magic, it's fine. Psychic
No, well,
powers, I know.
I'm thinking.
Let's be honest, it's just a fancy word for magic.
I know, but some people don't like when I
Mordecai
say that.
fails. It was meant to have a -10 on there, and I got a -0.
Magic. Would I be able to determine how close they are to a riot?
No, not really. That's like roll me fellowship with scrutiny fellowship with a -50.
-50.
Yeah.
Oh,
To try and, because again, enforcers could come and break them up. You could have members of the ecclesiarchy come along. There's so much randomness in there.
Nope. Big nope.
I actually have the talent clues from the crowd.
If you stop the car, you can go into the crowd and roll that.
It's just an information gathering.
Yeah, this is
roll,
the
or I
ideal.
just get to re-roll.
This is the ideal time to use such a skill.
Yeah,
Hint,
if Albie does tell us, because right now it's
I
just
tell
kind of
you.
yeah. Should we stop the car and take a quick investigation from the, gather some details of like what may or may happen with this.
Get into character. Oh, of course, I do love seeing the zoo.
The driver just pulls over and parks up. Not too far from a similar scene that's taking part in the other, on the other corner, on the other side.
Okay. Yeah, just I suppose spread out and try to gossip. I don't have gossip.
No, it's clues from the crowd.
Clues of the crowd just lets me make lets me re-roll a test once per group or once per day. Sorry. To get.
Yeah, it's
whatever test
scrutiny
together.
fellowship. Scrutiny fellowship, or you can do scrutiny perception. Hang on, let me check.
Please let me do scrutiny perception.
I believe it's either one, but with scrutiny perception, you are literally just looking at people and eavesdropping. Whereas scrutiny fellowship, you're going up to people and saying, "Excuse me, what's this about? Can you tell me?" And then you can ask other questions. Whereas if you so if you roll perception, you just overhear people. So you don't get to ask anything.
I already have a -10 on top of my fellowship to people.
I tell you what, I will say, because there is quite a big crowd, on either side. Again, Middle Hive, still millions upon billions of people going to work every day and milling about and doing all sorts. With such a big crowd, I'll give you a +20, because there are just so many people here, and they're not concealing it, although the front row next to the road and next to the recruiters are holding it back. Those within the crowd are being quite free.
All right. So I'm pretty sure everyone can do this. It's just I have the talent that lets me make a reroll if I need to.
Yes.
So everyone else, do your fucking thing too, please. Need a fallback option. God damn it. All right, using the talent. No.
Scrutiny, perception.
Or fellowship. It's your choice, but it's with fellowship you get to ask questions. No, you get a +20 because the crowd is so big.
Scrutiny.
Nice.
It was perception.
What was that with, Liliana?
That was scrutiny fellowship.
Okay, so Jenny, was that perception for you?
Fellowship.
Oh, you did fellowship as well. Okay.
I
So,
wouldn't have
for
passed
Ezio-
either way.
For Ezio. Oh yeah, sorry, I read the numbers the wrong way around. Yes, so for Ezio, as you're listening around and moving through the crowd, what you saw in the car is just confirmed. You hear just, what's the governor thinking? Throwing away our heritage like that? The Emperor wouldn't allow it. We've stood for years like this. Yeah, I know it's part of us, and why would she do... even the Lord Commander had respect for our troops, and look at it, what will the veterans think? However, Liliana, as you move up to a crowd, you actually say, what's going on? And they tell you pretty much all of this, but you can ask a few questions. Was there anything you wanted to ask the crowd?
Help. I'm gonna ask if they know what's this new unit and where is it from, and why.
Oh, it's from us, isn't it? Yeah, it'll be our kids who serve, or the ones that have grown up. Yeah, they're the first ones to enlist. Full of piss and vinegar, want to fight for the God Emperor. Bless their souls. They might get people from the surrounding subsector if they need to bolster. That's been done before.
The governor's been acting strange for her to do something that breaks your heritage.
The governess, she's good. She's managing the hive as best she can after her old man was found dead. Heart attack, the Medicaid report said. But we don't. I think she lost more family. Wasn't there an accident a few weeks later? Yeah. I think it wasn't a shuttle crash, like a horrible accident, and her brothers both were passed away. Yeah, I think she was the last one left. And so she took the position from there. Oh yes. She took the position, and has her nobles to give her guidance, and of course the Lord Commander of the Ultima Segmentum, where he took a fancy to the subsector, said it was of more importance than his predecessors had estimated. So he brought his forces and built a magnificent palace in the spire, and he has been assisting the governess. Not too sure why, though.
I'm sorry. How long ago did the unfortunate, well, the unfortunate deaths of our family happen? Is this an old news for you people, or has this happened recently?
Oh, it's been some years now. I don't truly recall when it all happened. It was before my time. I've always grown up under the governess's lead rulership. Hang on, rulership of a teenager. It's been at least 20 or 40 years.
And you say she inherited her position after her late husband and brothers?
Oh, her father. Yes, it was her father. She was the last in the house, so by ancient decree, it fell to her family to continue. Every few centuries, the nobles of the spire do an election to see who should take lead of the world. But I think there was something with the voting, or we're not in it. It's nobles' business, but we're told each time it happens that the late governor's family have always won it.
And how long has this new commander been around?
How long has the new governess been around?
No, commander. The commander that showed up in the interest.
Oh, the commander. Since she was appointed.
25 years ago, he came around.
Out of character, do you people have any questions that do you think I should ask?
What's their opinion on the commander?
Yeah, I need more knowledge about the commander. I have.
Oh, he's a
some
hero.
theories on her.
The Lord Commander is male. He's a war hero. Oh, you must have heard the stories about him. He was Lord Commander of the Ultima Segmentum for Frono only knows. He might be as old as 500 or maybe 1,000. I've heard Juvenat treatment will do that to people. Don't be silly. I think he's 170 or he's been Lord Commander for some time now. It was a real shock to the Segmentum when he left his palace on Ultramar. Oh, a massive kerfuffle. But he said it was of strategic importance and that he should oversee works here. We're not told what works. It was a big. There was a huge ceremony when he came. From I imagine from at least the top to I would think the bottom would all know that the Lord Commander came, and that the parades and all sorts. It was quite a childhood memory.
Huh. Oh, he's a great hero.
Oh yes, very, very respected across all of Ultramar Segmentum.
And he left his post to come here.
Well, no, he's still the Lord Commander. He still does all the business that he needs to do. I believe his battleship or the admiral of the again, not entirely sure. There's a battleship that relays messages directly to the Ultramar, and then information is passed. I've been told it's not too far, Ultramar, from here, but don't know exactly.
I see. Out of character, guys. Any more questions? I'm drawing blank here. Sorry.
I mean, aside from some meaningless meta stuff like casualty rates of the regiments and stuff like that.
They wouldn't know. These are Imperial citizens.
Yeah, and that.
The thing
I
is,
don't really have anything.
his name is something I think I would ask.
The Lord Commander's
and where
name.
and where he fought.
Lord Commander Jack von Lass Sebastian Roy.
Oh boy, that's a mouthful.
It certainly is.
Where's the name?
Sebastian. Why does he sound like LaCroix? I hate LaCroix.
I'm sorry. He is one of 5 Lord Commanders. So there's actually 5 that deal with the Ultramar Segmentum, and he's one of 5.
You know, this is starting to give me an idea what might be happening around here, but.
So a Lord Commander is in charge of responsibilities of guard forces in each Imperial Segmentum. So he is the chief general. But one of 5.
Putting it lightly.
So he is the highest rank you could get.
He's the top of all the regiments in this system.
So yeah, him being on a backwards ass little world like this, suspicious. Suspicious.
This is like a red flag.
Apparently he was a noble of this world and he was in the guard regiment.
Interesting. Out of character, here's the thing. I don't know if he's an infiltrated, chaos servant, or maybe, just maybe, he's impersonating the actual dude.
Oh!
So over the 4 days, you would have heard from, over the 2 days, you'd have heard from Darius that he had an Inquisitorial agent stood next to him when he was on the pick feed. So it's unlikely that he would be an infiltrator.
I forgot about that part.
Out of character, your Inquisitor has met the Inquisitorial agent.
Oh,
He is an old man.
We forgot to ask about.
He is an old man dressed in fine robes who was drinking at the time of the recording.
We don't know who are out of character. I know who the Inquisitor is, but out of character, I also don't remember this name.
No. The man stood next to this person, Lord Commander Jack.
Okay.
So he's not beyond scrutiny by the Inquisition, but he's well above your pay grade to start scrutinizing. And I'd probably imagine that with Darius's research on the world, and the Lord Commander has a long list of achievements.
Why the hell is he hiring? Not hiring. Why the hell is he conscripting people in this back-ass world?
Something you could ask is, what was the big skirmish that happened on planet 10 years ago?
That's
I
probably
will-
on the watch list.
I will ask that. I didn't know about that because I forgot about that.
It'll
I will
probably
ask that.
no. It might be best if you don't. It will probably put you on the watch list because it is an unknown skirmish.
Ask that.
Then, if it's an unknown skirmish, then never mind. I'm not asking about that.
It sounds like
Oh,
something.
the last fight that happened. Well, the last reinforcements that regiment that had people come back. Well, second had some reinforcements sent back 14 years ago, and the first had veterans retired 7 years ago. They've been the last veterans that we've had retired and made it back world. I don't know many of them around this area, but you might find some around. We don't really get told who, well, the enemy, you know, what the preachers say. It's pretty much all we get told about. That our brave lads are fighting the enemy for the God Emperor. And we should work harder for their work is much more fraught than ours. One of the adults just slaps the teenager around the head. Ow, what the fuck?
Wait a second. Last shit.
You do that
What?
on the toilet.
They didn't have veterans. The last battle was with Behemoth, and they didn't actually get any veterans. That's what I got in my research, at least.
Back.
So that might be propaganda.
Hornets.
Hmm. Huh. I'm not gonna start talking about that to these Imperial citizens.
Yeah, don't do that. That's more out of character.
Yeah.
No.
So,
I'll probably tell you that when we get back in the car.
yeah, I think I'm gonna stop here unless you guys have anything else I should ask.
I think I'm done.
Out of character, I am
Ask for
way out of.
maybe ask for behavior of the vets. If
What
they
now?
Maybe ask if the veterans acted more weird than normal vets.
They wouldn't know what normal vets are.
Yeah, the thing is, how the hell would they know? You know?
What is a normal vet?
Yeah, what is a normal veteran?
He's a veteran. He's a veteran. What makes them not normal? Well, except from the fact that they're veterans of 40k warfare, so they're all kinds of fucked up.
You're a veteran if
Yeah,
you
but
survive.
I mean,
It's like, would these people even know these veterans and how weird they were before and how they are now? I mean, they're veterans. Of course, they're gonna be weird,
There's
You can
There's a
always ask
chance.
the nearest
especially in 40k. I mean,
There's a chance that the family would know. Again, needle haystack. Only this time you don't know where the needles are placed in from. You would literally just have to spend weeks trolling around asking people if they know of any veterans, any families of veterans that are posted around.
hmm. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna ask that. Anything
By all
else?
means, a
Otherwise,
brothel is probably a really good place to start asking. So maybe ask the girls when you get back.
general clothes from brothel is probably a good idea. Because
You
Out
could
of
roll
character,
scrutiny in the brothel to ask people in the brothel.
I don't think I should be bothering people. We'd be talking to the girls.
Excuse me, sir. Do you have a moment to speak about the Lord and Emperor?
Excuse me, sir. Do you have a moment to talk about the war? You know,
excuse me, sir. Here's the rebranded issue of
this 1 week that we haven't played has left me way out of shape. But I think I'm gonna stop my line of inquiry here.
So with all questions asked, the people continue their rants and rage at the recruiters, although not actually going to enact their rage. It's just vocalized at the moment. Before you head off to your car, and you notice that many people in the crowd hear the announcement for this hour's work shift will be beginning, or who knows, maybe there's a clock that tells you the time on the hour, and people do start dispersing. Do you get back in your car and you head to the elevator? Now, how is everyone doing for time?
I can do some more.
I'm good for another half hour.
Okay, cool. So after, well, it's about 2 hours once you get into the elevator, you reach the floor where the driver he's probably affiliated with the Poison Kiss. So when you say the Fortress Precinct of the Arbites, he just nods and plunders his way up. You get... Oh, hang on. I'm on the wrong screen. I was on the Raccoon's screen. He'll be furious if he sees. I don't think he did. It's fine. Mordecai, go away. There we go. So you have made your way up to the street section of the hive that has the Fortress Precinct in it. As you come round in the car, this area opens up far more. There are other Adeptus buildings within this area. The Ministorum, I imagine, has a building here, as well as the Munitorum, I believe is the military and the paper pushers
Ministratum.
of the Ministratum. Yes. I've literally just opened up my Adeptus handout. Yeah, Ministratum. There are a number of different Adeptus buildings within the area. You also notice that there is a grand cathedral here to the God Emperor and to Saint Augustine. Although it is under work at the moment, they have got construction going on to the outside. It currently has just a spider's web of scaffolding going up the outside of it, and as the car comes along the streets of this part of the hive, again, this is a 6 or 7 lane road, and this is a small road, so very fucking humongous area. As you come round, you can see that this the cathedral is built next to the Fortress Precinct. There is distance. Wow. There is distance between the cathedral and the precinct. For a defensive purpose, it looks like that the precinct has at least 6 lanes completely free. There is nothing that could even be remotely classed as cover within that area. But there are many citizens coming and going, walking across pathways.
That's where the bodies come in.
That's the killing ground. But again, you can see that it is a fortress. As the car pulls round and the driver comes off this many-laned road, he pulls down into an area where it seems to be a car park of some description that has a view of essentially this plaza area, just a massive open edifice within the hive itself, with these gigantic buildings. Some of them, like the Fortress Precinct, extremely ominous. As you look up at it, you can see the areas where gun turrets would be. The armoured casings have come down whilst not in use, but it just has this black, dark feeling about it, which you imagine is there to cause fear so that the citizens don't fuck with the Arbites, or you'll go to their fortress precinct and never come out again.
Do they have cyber mastiffs?
They probably do. Who knows what they actually have. But as you come around again, this area has the two most grand buildings would be the fortress precinct and the cathedral to the God Emperor. The other Adeptus buildings around in this area aren't quite as grand. It definitely seems that this is the area for the Arbites and the Ecclesiarchy to have their landmark buildings. But we're talking... in scale, we're talking just the area of space where there is nothing around. We're probably talking like 7 or 8 football fields. Just going around the fortress, and then there's another open area where the cathedral is. The cathedral has a kind of a similar setup, really. It has a large area that is left semi-clear. You could see members of the, like, just citizens queuing up to go into the cathedral. There are preachers there preaching the Imperial Creed and preaching about the darkness to avoid, to keep mindful of your neighbours and of your workmates, that they do not fall into the darkness. And again, there are some food sellers and general people just who have set up stalls in this area who are selling drinks and other items to those who are coming out of the Adeptus buildings.
You're gonna need a drink after that beating and interrogating you just got.
What? Out of character, just to refresh my memory, we don't actually know what they look like. We just know the names, right?
We just know they're judges. That's the wrong term, but they're basically judges.
Well, the other's gonna poke Darius. Darius, do you want to go inside and try to figure out who they are? She's gonna smile.
I'm just look at you, deadpan.
Oh,
Sure.
no. Yay. She's just
Sure,
gonna
come
smile and look at you. Am I?
Yep. If I'm going in, you're going in with me, because you're going to keep me on track. Otherwise, I'm going to start talking about eagles again.
Fine.
I
Actually,
would ask Mordecai, but he's been very quiet today.
he has been very quiet, yes. Actually, we could
He
say we're here
shrugs.
to make a donation.
A donation of what?
Thrones?
Just push Mordecai in
50
on the
arm
good time.
bites.
He's fine, right?
Fine. I don't know, just spitballing ideas.
I mean, the thing is, God damn it, right? They leave on the patrols, right?
Enforcers go on patrols. Arbites get sent out when the enforcers call them.
Okay.
So let's say there's a drunken brawl that the enforcers can't handle. Either loads of enforcers will get sent, or a few enforcers with an arbite and a shock ball.
More than a shock ball.
That's polite of them. I was expecting a shotgun, to be honest.
Depends on how
Machine shield
sadistic
and
they are.
beanbag, right? Return
So
to
I
your
tell you what,
homes.
everyone give me awareness checks. I would probably say Flat, yeah. Probably say flat. Yeah, flat. And I'll count the degrees for certain things.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
my.
Wow.
Okay. Oh, hang on. No, I best do Mordecai after all. Waldo will maybe ask, did my character do anything? You can all say, yes, he rolled a few times. You could check the chat log.
I
And
was
he
very sad
achieved...
about
Although
leaving
it says
someone
this, so... maybe not then. Never mind. Anyway, he doesn't see anything. So... Ezio... and Darius. You two see that there are officers from the Arbites, officers from the Enforcers coming out of the Arbites precinct. Some of them go off and start patrolling the area. Others seem to be taking 5 and going over to the food stands, grabbing a bite to eat before moving on, or perhaps just checking the food stands. You're not quite sure. But you do see them going in that direction. You'd also see that there are a number of citizens in this area who don't seem to need to be at work, and they've gathered around the cathedral, and there's a street preacher preaching to them. So there seems to be a commotion going on over by the cathedral at the moment, and the queues of citizens again who are queuing up to go in for the service that is going to be starting soon. You'll imagine there are many services for this many people. They too look kind of disgruntled. However, Liliana, you notice that on the actual cathedral itself, there seem to be on the scaffold quite high up cranes that you're not quite sure how they're held on to the scaffolding. It didn't look that secure, but they are painted red, so they would be part of the Mechanicus, possibly. But it does look as if they're adding on something to the cathedral that's leaning out. And, perhaps you get out the car and you go and walk round and just get a better view of it. It appears to be a saint stood with their arms held out. And they're currently putting in parts of the arm. Hands out, palms up. In that Jesus-like gesture. I can't do it, well, yeah. We all know it.
Give the coin.
Yep.
Spare some coochie, man.
I'm just gonna poke the rest of the group and point at it.
Jenny, you would know of the machine. Just, you don't need to roll. You know of it. It's a constructor lift, or operated by the Mechanicus, or subjects of the Mechanicus. It's kind of servants of the Mechanicus can use it. So tributae, they don't have to be tech priests to use it, but repairing it would come under the Mechanicus's tech priests' jurisdiction.
So, Jenny, what do you think about that?
It's a machine.
Yes, Jenny.
It is pretty commonly used in construction works of the Mechanicus and their tributaries.
Okay. and they're using it to build a statue.
How safe? How safe do you believe that statue to be? Ooh.
It's,
looks at the looks at the big ass statue probably and is like, look, I wonder what would happen if that were to collapse. Then she looks at Ed and says, nah, probably not gonna happen.
I'm pretty sure that goes against a lot of regulations to destroy an Imperial statue.
Well, yes,
not
but
destroying it. It is in construction.
No. Liliana was talking about pushing it over.
And again, this thing is so trying to use some grasp of real world. This statue is, let's say, 17 stories up. Like tall, I mean. It's gigantic, as everything is with the
so-
ecclesiarchy.
Yeah, so we push it over on top of the precinct.
And it's kind of built into the cathedral. You know, they do.
Shit,
It's
okay,
like super
push
glued.
it
It's
down
like
on
stick
the
like
cathedral.
shit on the stone as it goes in.
It's just fucking super glue it to the cathedral.
Precisely why Lillian looked at it, I was like, I wonder if we could collapse that. And then she looked at Ezio and she went like, oh no, I'm becoming Ezio now. And she shook her head. Never mind.
Okay. Gonna let my inner guardsman speak, and anything's collapsible if you got the right right number of death packs.
You can also, I should point out, there are massive trucks that just have huge pieces of cut and polished stone. There's probably actually only like 3 trucks that have drivers in them that are asleep. Liliana with 4 degrees. In fact, Liliana, roll 1d2. You need 1.
Come on, dice gods. Daniel,
No.
can
So
I use a
you-
feint point for this?
No. You could see that there are huge trucks with massive pieces of polished stone lined up. There's about 3 of them. In the time that you've been stood there, the piece of stone that's going up by the crane is probably gone up an inch. Like you're staring at it and you're like, it's been 10 minutes. I mean, I think it's moved. It's going very, very slowly.
Jenny, what are the odds of that thing failing and that thing actually falling? That big piece.
If it is properly maintained, the chances should be very low.
And it's about 8 stories up.
Well, if we were to tip the odds in our favor and shove someone under it.
And what exactly would that accomplish?
A squished person, obviously.
We don't even know which ones they are. We don't even know where they are.
True. Out of character, you said there was a commotion in the church, right?
Outside the church, there's a street preacher preaching to a crowd that is getting a bit rabbly.
I'm gonna go over to that and do a little bit of investigating.
Sure.
Just to listen in.
Okay. To be honest with you, you wouldn't need to roll anything to hear what the preacher is saying for most part. He appears to be using the Imperial Creed quite cleverly to quash the questions and rabble that's coming from the crowd. Again, much like the recruiter, only this time someone's actually answering them back. So when they're saying, you know, why is our heritage being taken, he uses part of the Imperial Creed to that the God Emperor said we should be unified against the fight against the darkness, that only through unity can our strength come to fruition. And he's just trying to spiritually, calm the people down and bring order. It appears to be working. The preacher is, it is not quite as bad as Lower Down, where it was just a recruiter. And when, you spend a couple of minutes listening, the street preacher is quite skilled. He has quite the silver tongue, and you can see him quickly going through at the pages of the Imperial Creed as other questions are brought up, and he brings up passages which get the crowd murmuring and thinking that, he switches their questions round. So it's...
He has good speech judo, basically.
Yeah, so it's like, but my ancestors fought in the third reinforcement of the 17th. What about them? What happens to? But they gave their lives for the God Emperor. Thus, they will be by his side and be judged by him. But those that bring chaos into our world, those will be damned. And what you sow now is chaos, my child. What? How did? But we just. You're on the verge, but that is why I am here, to quell this descent and to bring vision to your covered eyes. You must always remember that the God Emperor knows best, and his teachings, and he holds the book up, is how he speaks to us now. We must always remember to turn to his teachings before questioning what is going on around us. Perhaps this is glorious for our community and our world. Perhaps this means big things, that we too will enjoy the strength of the rest of the Imperium of Man. And as you stand watching the street preacher, there is a flicker as just for a moment Servo Skull can be seen in the air, but disappears before anyone sees it as it zooms round the group one last time on the pick feed before going up. And that is where we end our episode.
Shit.
Wait, at least
I-
it's not a bloody cherub.
I certainly hope. He's always been there. He has always been there. Well, at least
Yeah,
he's been there for quite some time.
It's the Sooner raccoon.
Possibly. Who knows?
It's a
It's
raccoon in a jet. It's a raccoon with a jetpack with a massive camera on its shoulders.
I thought it was just a raccoon skull that's got a fucking camera built into its mouth.
Oh, that would be too morbid, the poor raccoon. I mean, come on.
No,
I prefer the
he's-
light one.
He doesn't
This
like
is
that
40K.
idea. He doesn't like that idea. He looks very grumpy. But we will find out what our group decides to do in the next episode. They have multiple choices that I have laid before them. Could they go with a poison route or an accidental tragedy on the workplace? Or maybe they'll come up with something ingenious and surprise me altogether. But we'll find out in the next episode. So thank you very much for watching. Do remember that we are back this Thursday with some more Warhammer Fantasy, where we left on one hell of a cliffhanger. So please do join in to find out what happens to our elf as she takes part in the duel against Sir Robert. I think
it was Edward.
who knows? Too many names in these games.
His
But
name changes a few times, to be honest.
I'll see you in the next episode. So take care, everyone, and as always, bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.